Yeah, you a monster for this one, man.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTuber, signing off and imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we are going to go over Raw this week was as it is been in the Performance Center. Now, this week's episode was different because for the first time since the world went to shit, which I think is a pretty appropriate term to use given all current events. You know, ever since the world went to shit, WWE has not had a live audience. However, that has changed effective tonight. They had NXT talent sitting in the crowd, plexiglass above the security barricade, which honestly, at first I kind of looked, I was like, they put fucking sneeze guards up, and then, then I started sitting there scratching and thinking, scratching the beard thinking, okay, this could work because just wait, soon enough, you're going to see somebody's, boom, head get thrown into it, which I'm all for, Bring on that kind of crazy shit. Now, before we get into more details about this week's Raw, we're going to switch gears, pop into last week, talk about last week's SmackDown via the SmackDown Rewind, the big highlights from last week. Uncle Alan, AJ Styles, is now effectively back on SmackDown. He is officially traded for several trades down the line that have not been announced. He is in the Intercontinental Tournament. He had a match against Nakamura, which was a fucking stellar match. But, of course, Meltzer being the fuck knuckle he is, guarantee he won't give it any good. He won't give it any. He'll say it was the drizzling shits because it wasn't in the Tokyo Dome and it didn't have 3,000 flips and 20 million near falls. Fuck that motherfucker. But yeah. Also, they had Jeff Hardy wound up going against Sheamus. Jeff won. Honestly, at this point, what I'm thinking is going to come to the finals is Styles and Hardy. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be. Also, big highlight. Other than that, big highlights from last week's SmackDown. It became official. Braun Strowman's going to defend the Universal title against Ho Ho, Miz and Morrison. Okay, I'm sorry, that's just contagious. I can't fucking help myself. Against Miz and Morrison in a handicap match, which I'm fucking okay with because, I'm not some old timer that's stuck in the ways like, you need to have a wrestling match like this and have this. No, if it can fucking entertain me, if it entertains me, I'm fucking for it. I don't give a shit if it's, 12-on-1 or some stupid shit like that. Whatever. If you can make it entertaining and make it compelling, I'm good. That said, not much else big build up for, not much else big news-wise last week. So let's get back into this week's Raw. It starts out with the Kevin Owens show, introducing his guests for the evening, the ever so introducing Charlotte Flair, Natayla, which, please, why do they keep insisting on giving Natayla a live mic? I mean, a monotone phone sex operator sounds more lively than Natayla. And of course, they had my future third ex-wife, Asuka. Honestly, I could watch her read a phone book all damn day and be perfectly good. But enough with being creepy like that, maybe I'll save something like that for some private thing some other time. Anyways, it was to build up the women's triple threat match for tonight to determine the #1 contender for a title shot at Asuka at Backlash. The match is Charlotte, Natayla, Nia, And honestly, my first thought was, why Natalya? Because Shayna Baszler already beat Natalya 2 weeks in a row. And Shayna, she hit the nail on the head on Twitter, saying, I didn't have a family legacy to get me a title opportunity, so I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing, and that's destroying everyone until they give me a shot. Which, after I saw her tweet that, I was just like, alright, well fuck, that just sold me on why. Now I'm good. I'm good because that little side note right there fully sets up down the road she is gonna beat, hurt, maim, and mutilate everyone in her path until she gets that shot at the title. So, with that said, yeah, as you would expect with the Kevin Owens show, Kevin, with the very witty, dry humor he has, was very good with it. Charlotte came out. Just as Charlotte was there, right as she was about to speak, Owens, you lost a feather, by the way. Fucking beautiful. Love that. God damn, that is good shit right there. To take a line from Vince, god damn, pal, that's such good shit. Yeah. Also, now, Charlotte, she was hyping up saying, you know, Asuka, you can never get the job done with me. You know, let's look back at every time you and I have had to cross paths. I've always beaten you. Which, technically, yes. However, Asuka does got 2 wins over Charlotte via one being a triple threat TLC match and the other being a tag title TLC match. I'm just saying if you want to split hairs, but I'm not some douchey, over-observant wrestle nut that's going to go out there and go into a full keyboard rage. Well, you know, technically, on this date, you had this match and then this happened. Fuck them assholes. Okay, you know what? Yeah, what they said made sense. And then, of course, Nia came out and we all had a big rigmarole and all that jazz. Had a big fight, everything broke up eventually. Then we led to first match of the night, Andrada against Apollo Crews, and good Lord Almighty, Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega fucking killed it once again. Which, again, I can't help it. Aleister Black, you modern day Billy Kidman overachieving son of a bitch. Okay, I'm good now. Zelina Vega came out. Well, one, I gotta give Zelina Vega credit for wearing heels that I'm pretty sure were 3-inch high, you know, and being able to walk in them with no problem whatsoever. And 2, coming out wearing fucking skin-tight leather, looking like fucking Catwoman from Batman Returns, which next year I'm just like, good Lord. And again, I gotta save the dirty thoughts and comments for the Twitter. Can't leave that on here. I'm good now. Really good match. I dug the match between Andrada and Apollo. It had a nice good start, you know, both of them trying to get a feel and one up on each other. Eventually, at one point, Crews hits Andrada with a enziguri, which then makes him fall into Zelina. Zelina then falls down off to the ring. And then they pan to do the small dual screen with the commercial going, and you could see all the medical attendants taking the attendant to Zelina like, hey, you okay? You okay? You want us to take you to the back? All that jazz, and Andrade there with her like, you alright? You alright? You need me to do anything? You let's take you to the back, this, that, and the other. And then eventually, when they come back, you just see Andrade going ballistic on Crews because, you know, Crews made Andrade hit his manager. So yeah. But I give this match mad ups because it was a very all-out match for Crews. Crews was going all out on this. Shined like a fucking star. He got the win doing a gorilla press and then a standing shooting star. Got the 1, 2, 3. So you're a winner and new WWE US Champion Apollo Crews, which was way cool to see. And then, so now we come to the next match, which was Kevin Owens against Angel Garza, which again, Zelina Vega ringside. Oh dear God in heaven. Okay, first Asuka, and then they did an interview with Kayla Braxton, and then they had Charlie Caruso out there. I'm pretty sure the fucking old man has me wired and is hearing my inner thoughts, and you know I'm pretty sure also whoever my docs that keep on having to give me the heart meds for all this shit, you know, it's got a fucking beeline to them saying, yo, put this on so that way he has to keep on getting our shit. Good God Almighty. Whew. Yeah. Cruz and Garza, you know, now as Owens was coming out, Garza came out of nowhere, boom, hit a chop block on Owens' left knee and started working on it throughout the entire match, which, you know, okay. Owens, he was fighting through it, working with a limp, and Owens, he was taking it to Garza, and he was leading through the match until eventually his knee gave out and he just couldn't do anything on it anymore. Not in a way like Cruz where his knee went and the ref called for the match. It was just, you know, he was taking 2 or 3 steps and then he's just like, and it just buckled in. And then once it buckled, that's when Garza capitalized. Boom, popped a super kick. Next thing you know, got him up. Wing clipper, 1, 2, 3. That was it. So next up now, next match we got is Murphy and Austin Theory going against Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black, the modern day Billy Kidman overachieving son of a bitch bastard. Again, compose myself. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm a man. Okay. So yeah, Theory, he wound up, you know, Seth at one point was saying, cut a promo backstage saying what happened with Ray was for the greater good because he sacrificed himself so that way you know, Seth could then go forth and lead everyone to the promised lands. Keep in mind, I'm paraphrasing, mind you. You know, and then introduced Murphy, Garza. Murphy, you know, he sold his shill on why he's with Seth. And then Theory, his was, when I first got to WWE, I thought I had friends, and then they betrayed me. And then in my darkest hour, the Messiah came and saved me, which, okay, in a way this makes sense, because you could have Seth literally recruit anyone who who is getting put on the ass end of an ass kicking, and you know, you're just like, damn, why isn't he moving? Why, this kid's got talent, why the fuck can't we? And then next thing you know, Seth can be like, come my child, I shall save you. You know? Now, I've already gone into depth for what feels like an eternity, but it's been about like 3 or 4 weeks about on how freaking good Seth is with this character, and I am getting tired of having to explain it, so I'm not gonna this time, but all I'm gonna say is I fucking love on how he's doing this shit. He is fucking doing amazing with it. Now as far as the match goes, Murphy and Austin Theory against Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black, you know, decent enough match. Faces were leading early on. You know, a lot of quick tags between Theory and Murphy. Now, it was a decent enough match. It was what it was. It was meant to establish Murphy and Theory as being Seth's cronies, as being his new hit guys. You know? And they got the win. Theory hit the ATL on Humberto, and you know, I'm just going to say this right now. One thing that does bother me, and it drives a wild hair up my ass, is on how, you know, people want to constantly say, Humberto's the drizzling shits, he's trash, this, that, and you know. No, motherfucker. Here's the thing. The kid can fucking work. His only flaw, honest to God, is the fact he can't cut a fucking promo. That's it, point blank. You can't cut a fucking promo and talk normal. And by normal, I mean fluent English. He can't speak fluently enough to where he can, so that way he can then have the people relate, build sympathy for, you know, like that. That's where the problem lies. So that's it, nothing else. Next up, we got the women's triple threat match, Charlotte Flair, Natayla, and Nia Jax. My boo Asuka is sitting ringside on commentary the whole time. Ooh, lordy lordy. I love when anytime Asuka is ever out there, not just because, you know, El Pervo, but just because of the simple fact she's just fucking entertaining no matter what she's doing. Whether it's dancing, cutting a promo, or working in the ring. You know, whatever she's doing, she fucking can work. She's entertaining. She makes you want to put your eyes on her. You know? Now, aside from the fact that she's drop dead gorgeous does also help as well. Now, moving forward with the match, you know, liked on how Natayla and Charlotte did a double team to go and try and take out Nia early on, and then they started going one-on-one with each other. A little bit of the shade of the old Flair Hart feud that, you know, apparently everyone loves to bring up all the time. You know, it's just like, for fuck's sake, dude. Listen, it is what it is. Just let the shit fucking go, you know? But then Nia came in. She started cleaning up house. Nice little bit one-on-one spots with everyone. And then eventually at one point, the commentating table is no longer all the way up at the entryway. It's now down at the ringside, just like SmackDown. It gets cleared, and just as it looks like Nia is going to go and put one of the other girls through, they stop, and then next thing you know, Natty and Charlotte, boom, do a double power bomb to Nia through the table, which pretty fucking cool to see, you know. It was a good solid match all around. I freaking loved it. This was hands down was match of the night. This was the match of the night right here for me. Now, Nia Jax, she got the win, which honestly wasn't really much of a shocker considering all the build-up that was leading to this. This just needed to be the main... Damn it! Almost had an episode where I didn't fucking fumble over myself. Damn it. Nia got the win, but it's not much of a shocker considering the build-up that's been leading to this. It's just this match was needed more so to solidify, saying, yeah, now she's #1 contender. Oh, and she's an ass kicker, and she kicked someone's ass to show she's the #1 contender. She got the win doing the Samoa drop on Natayla, 1, 2, 3. You know, so now we come to main event of the night. Street Profits versus Bobby Lashley and MVP. This came to be because while the Street Profits have been doing quite possibly the most hilarious vignettes in recent history with the Raiders with anything you can do, I can do better. First they do basketball, then axe throwing, and then golf. Which, honestly, at this point, it feels like that fucking asshole who, you know, which, if you ever find him on Twitter, at Just a Stupid Mark, by all means tell him, hey, Tim Vicious said you're an asshole. He'll know what you mean. And, yeah, it feels like that they took a page out of the Masked Mark's booking with this shit. Which, honestly, I can't really say I'm mad on it. I fucking like it. I like it. I take the shit out of that stuff. You know, it's fucking cracking me up. And not only that, yes, we all know the Raiders are big, burly brutes and savages. But here's the thing. We needed to add layers to the characters. So heaven forbid we do something to... Heaven forbid the company does something to make the characters have more dimensions. Is that really so bad? Or are you just looking for something to bitch about? Because honestly, if you are, go put on something else and let the people that actually want to watch this shit watch this fucking shit. So, anyways, after this, then the Prophets and the Raiders, they're bickering back and forth about what's next. Bowling, which, you know, as a dudist, as an ordained dudist priest, I have no problem with bowling. But then MVP and Bobby Lashley come over like, you know, you two say you're the champs, but you ain't really acting like it. So why don't y'all put your money where your mouth is? You go against me and him, go against me and my boy tonight. So then they do. Now, this was a fucking good match. This match was very much so set for what it was. It was meant to show Bobby Lashley as a dominant force. He was a dominant force, and he, very much so like he was in the TNA days with MVP, he was a destroyer. He was the destroyer. He plowed through Montez Ford like he was fucking nothing. He took him down real fast, beat the shit out of him, you know, and MVP and Lashley went to town on them both. The match came to an end when Ford got the splash in on MVP just as the ref was going for the count. Lashley comes in, boom, pops in the full Nelson on Ford, ragdolling him like crazy, and then eventually, you know, ref's doing the count, gets to 5. Lashley's not letting go or leaving the ring, so the ref throws the match out. Just as the bell rings, that's when McIntyre's music comes out, and then them two start going at it, and they start fighting, which then eventually leads to NXT trainees coming out to try and break up the fight, which then McIntyre, boom, hits them fuckers with a Glasgow Kiss headbutt. When, you know, people can say that, you know, WWE's copying TNA's old story from so many years ago. So fucking what? Dude, it's wrestling. You can only do so many stories, you know, without, you know, you have to reintroduce it in some different type of way. I mean, fuck. You want a good example? How about, here's a good fucking recent example. Double or Nothing this past weekend, fucking Taz came out with Brian Cage. Very much so in the same way a la Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Am I mad on it? No, it fucking works. I got no if it fucking works, where's the problem? You know, where's the problem? Where's the issue? Is it because you can't, because you see that right off bat? I mean, for fuck's sake, if you're going to be that bitter towards anything wrestling related, why don't you just go into a Wayback Machine and watch wrestling from the 70s and from the 60s and 70s all over again, and leave us the fuck alone that want to see whatever shit entertains us. That's it, plain and simple. So with that said, that is it for this week's show, folks. Like I always tell y'all, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you don't look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you found me on there from here. On my Twitter at TimVicious, some of you big guy, Creep John going. Also, folks, big ups to my executive producer, Ali Rewind Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Check him out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and such. Details are down below. You want one of these sweet Ali Ray-Ban shirts? Hit me up at iTalk.man for you. Show him some love and support. Also, big ups to contributor to the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. It's a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. You know, with this lockdown shit going, we all need some form of entertainment, and it's definitely one way I get entertained. Big up. Also, make sure you follow these cats right here on the Twitter at SomeLogging10Killer DSB_IV, Diabolica RA, and Sergeant Curry Pants. My folks, like I always tell you, you know me great, you hate me.
I cannot
fuck you.
You're out there like instant when you right, you got